Creating Depth, Making Your Canvas Feel 3D, Episode 6. So far we talked about brushes, color, composition and painting what we see instead of what we think we see. Now it's time for one of those moments where everything suddenly starts making sense. Have you ever looked at your painting and thought, why does it look flat? Even if the colors are nice, even if the drawing is correct, something still feels missing. Usually what is missing isn't a better drawing, it's a depth. Today's lesson is all about making a flat canvas feel like a real place you could step into. The wonderful part is that creating depth isn't complicated. In fact, you learn one simple trick today that you can use in almost every painting for the rest of your life. Let's begin. So your canvas has only two dimensions, height, width. There is no actually depth. Yet somehow artists make the viewer believe they are looking into the landscape that stretches for kilometers. How? By giving the brain clues. Your eyes are constantly judging distance without even thinking. Your brain notices what's closer, what's further away, what's brighter, what's darker, what's sharper, what's softer. So you simply recreate those clues. When enough clues appear together, the brain fills in the rest. That's the magic. So let's start with one of the easiest ideas in painting. Atmospheric perspective. The name sounds technical. The idea is not. Imagine standing on the top of the hill. Now look out towards the horizon. The distant horizon is softer. The colors become lighter. The hills look blushish. The details almost disappear. Nothing actually changes. You are just looking through more air. The further something is away, the more atmospheric sits between you and it. That atmosphere softens everything. That atmospheric perspective. Nature does this automatically. Your job is simply to paint what nature is already doing. So 4 things that happens in the distance. As objects move further away, they usually become smaller, lighter in the value, less detail, less colorful. That's it. Like you can see in the beginning, I put 2 lines, and what it's all about is that atmospheric on the top, and then we got the midground in the middle, and foreground on the bottom. So background is actually on the top, which means the atmospheric what we are creating for. And now I'm just adding the darker colors on the bottom, which is our foreground. And like you can see, I've been applying paint with my palette knife because it just gives that bit of a more natural spreading the paint, and it gives that bit of like these hills as well very naturally. And in this painting I'm using olive green and sap green. They are transparent colors, and I just show you how easy it is to create with one technique with our paper towel as well, and highlight hills and create anything you want. And at the moment I'm just blending with my rough bristle brush first to make it a little bit more softer, the transparent color. And even after this I'm using a very soft blending brush as well to make that very, very nice soft color change. I fold up my paper towel and make a nice and neat fold up, and then I just start swiping my hilltops. You can create your hilltops very, very easily this way, and it just highlights those hills very easily, and you get still that green transparent color on your panel. So and later on we can always add some more sap green glazing if we want to, or even a little bit more yellowish green, whatever you wanna do in the end when we do the glazing. And we can even use our rough bristle brush to add a little bit more dimension on the grass field, on the foreground. So it's just easy to push your oil paint while it's nice and fresh. So we created 3 zones now. So a very helpful way to think about any landscape is to divide it into the 3 parts: foreground, midground, background. Like you can see, I like to do the blue masking tape trick, and I just ripped on the middle, just make little bumps and humps for the distant mountains. So let's have a look what we can create. Just a very important note that the paint must be completely dry before using blue masking tape for this technique. Okay, and we got that ripped masking tape now, and we put that ripped part downwards, and we adding some Payne's Grey and titanium white mix. And this color gonna be a little bit more darker at first, and I even tap with my paper towel as well to get a little bit more atmospheric, like a cloud or mist on your bottom of the mountain. And now we're gonna just take it off and put them a little bit more higher. And what we're gonna do now, we're gonna add a little bit more titanium white in our paint mix, which makes it a little bit lighter. And just add those mountain tops. You don't have to add all the way where the tape is. Like you can see, you could just add those mountain tops, and it just looks nice. And again, we adding a little bit more titanium white, and it's even more lighter. So more higher you go, more lighter it gets. So you got that atmospheric 3D effect. And now I'm just doing the same thing, but I'm adding those 3 lines. And make sure that you can use the same color, but that it's a little bit more lighter than what we're gonna create on the foreground. So this is a midground, and we just add a little bit underneath those trees, a little bit more darker. So just an easy way to do. And like you can see, I got that ripped part now towards the upwards. So we got that nice hill. And this is a very easy way to do those 3 lines. And like you can see, I'm just using my little angle brush to just soften up those 3 line and hill as well, that it's not so sharp. So this is a midground what we are creating. The midground connects everything together. Objects become a little softer, details simplify, colors become slightly quieter. This often contains your main subject: house, tree, boat, field. It's the bridge between near and far. So the one trick that instantly creates depth, it's the increased contrast as objects come closer. Decrease contrast as they move further away. So that's it, really. So midground, we start getting a little bit more darker, and more foreground will just create more colors. And in this case, we got the autumn colors coming up. So, and then also foreground, we'll be using adding more texture with our paper towel as well. Why beginners often paint everything the same? Here's one of the biggest habits to watch for. You'll spend time carefully painting one tree, then you paint every tree exactly the same way. Same detail, same darkness, same sharp edges, same contrast. The result? A forest made of cardboard cutouts. Instead, think like camera, only the nearest object deserves maximum clarity. Everything else becomes simpler. This not only creates depth, it also helps your main subject stand out. Like you can see on the distance I had more paints grey and titanium white I was using, and if it's very far I put more titanium white on my paints grey, so it's very light. And now I'm using olive green, which is our Midground, and I'm using actually my small angle brush to create those tree. And later on we're gonna add some more color on distance as well, because it's the autumn landscape. Okay, and now we are using our crumble up paper towel because it's getting a little bit more closer on the foreground. So this way we're gonna add a little bit more texture on our painting. So I'm just doing a bit of a pointy crumble up paper towel and start tapping those tree lines there on the foreground. And I just realized that I do need to add some more paint with my palette knife, and this way we can get nice and thick paint, and then we start shaping up with our crumple up paper towel. And it's just easier this way, plus you get a lot of nice texture as well. And then I just wipe it underneath the tree line there, and again I add some more paint. And this is a great way to keep the paint in one place when you got the painter's blue masking tape, that we can control the paint and it doesn't smudge everywhere. And I will leave the painting dry a couple days again, so we can come back to it and do the next step. And we are mixing all these autumn colors, very orange and yellow, and some sap green and olive green as well, and using also burnt sienna, which is a very nice color for the autumn colors. And now on the bottom I'm just adding paint with my palette knife very thickly, because it is our foreground, and start blending with my crumple up paper towel first, and gently go up towards the upwards, and creating those tree tops as well. And then again we're getting new crumple up paper towel when we're changing our colors, so adding a little bit more lighter colors on the top of the trees. And these are our highlights, so just using different greens and very light greens and orange as well we'll be using on those top of the trees, and try to keep the darker colors underneath and not smudge the darker color with your lighter colors. And also when you tap with your lighter colors over the darker colors, you have to make sure that you don't tap too hard. Very gently you add color, and you probably have to change your paper towel, crumple up paper towel a few times, because it does get kind of dirty from the darker colors. So make sure that gently just tap those colors on the top, the darker. There is another way as well. You can leave the painting again for dry properly, and then just add those lighter colors on the top. But like you can see now, I'm adding with my little brush those tiny tree tops, green and orange colors, just very lightly, and it looks like the autumn forest. I usually use twisted paper towel to create those tree trunks and tree branches, but it's not working very well in this case because I got the darker background underneath, so underneath the painting. So I'm just trying different things to create, and because the painting is very fresh, even my brush is not penetrating very well, so you can fix it up again with your clean crumble up paper towel, and you just tap those And what I gonna do, I gonna just use my palette knife to create those tree trunks, tree branches. And you can see I just glazing a little bit here. I just add up a little bit of sap green, and because I know this part of the painting is dry, so I can just gently do the glazing. And here I'm using the rough bristle brush to just soften up that grass line and tree underneath the tree line as well. So there you go. Creating depth isn't about adding more objects. It's about helping the viewer understand whether those objects exist in the space. Remember these simple ideas. Things further away become softer, they become lighter, they lose detail, they lose contrast. Values create form, contrast creates attention, atmospheric perspective creates distance. And by separating your painting into the foreground, midground and background, you guide the viewer naturally through the scene. Once you begin seeing these patterns, you'll notice them everywhere. And once you start painting them, your work will feel more spacious, more convincing and more alive. In our final episode, we'll bring everything together. You'll learn how professional artists think from the moment they face a blank canvas until they sign their finished painting. It's where every lesson in this series comes together into one simple, enjoyable painting process. So last episode, which is the episode 7, your first complete landscape, blank canvas to finished painting.